Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some very big news when it comes to the Xbox as well. We've had actually a lot of Xbox news these past few weeks, with number one, quite a few brand new games that might be oncoming over here when it comes to the Xbox console, and as well, some even better kind of cool news when it comes to, well, once again, the speculation of Call of Duty is going to be coming to day one on Game Pass. So we're going to talk about all this throughout this video, so you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We're probably live up on Twitch right now if you guys are bored, and follow the Twitch if you guys want. Sign up for that Weeble, get a bunch of free money in stock, and let's go and talk about some pretty fun Xbox things all around. So, kind of some of the bigger news I would go and say is right now a lot of people are pushing on the Xbox coming to Game Pass, or more so Call of Duty coming to Xbox Game Pass as of day one, where Call of Duty 2024 is reportedly now being somewhat rumored and leaked. This is not 100% confirmed until we see official sources or official, other stuff coming out, but it seems like a lot of folks are now pushing towards the idea of either Call of Duty coming this year, or as well, a somewhat intriguing idea of a, say, 3-month exclusivity period. So let's say Call of Duty comes out, let's say, I don't know, September 30th, and then they have the holiday season, and then maybe January 1st, they'd go and release the game out to anyone who'd want to have the game on Game Pass, sorry, a little bit. But when it comes to that, what a lot of people are kind of on the curious side, because no one really fully knows if that's going to happen, how it's going to work, or how they're going to kind of structure it. Because they do technically own Activision at this current moment. And in theory, Xbox has been very pushy on that we want to have first-party games, day one, all of that, which I think is good. I think that's nice. And I would actually like to have Call of Duty day one on Game Pass. And if you guys want to let me know your thoughts, if you guys would download it or play it down below, we'd love to hear it. But right now, we're kind of seeing a little bit more of an extra bump on people assuming and or kind of pushing the idea that Call of Duty will be coming over here. Now, once again, this is not confirmed. This has not even been stated. We have to wait for Xbox or Activision to make a public statement. And even right now, a lot of the old Call of Duty games aren't even necessarily on Game Pass. A lot of Activision games aren't integrated with Xbox Game Pass at all. So at this point, take everything with a huge grain of salt. But it's intriguing too, because a lot of people are pushing on this one, especially with the quotes where Game Pass will continue to only be available on Xbox platforms, and we'll have all first-party games playable on day one. And people are kind of hyper focusing on this, on the podcast, the future of the console, streaming, and everything else, where they basically want to go make sure that this will be a first-party game. Because right now, it is technically Activision Blizzard is all first party. And a lot of folks are saying, duh, this kind of seems like a lot of people are kind of confirming this or kind of pushing this one. Once again, it has not been confirmed. We have not seen official statements, but we're seeing a lot more on the social media basically saying, hey, we should go and be celebrating that Call of Duty is going to be brand new. We have to go and celebrate. They get to go have it on Game Pass. Xbox players rejoice. Game Pass players rejoice. PC players come and rejoice. And I think a lot of folks are also kind of stemming this, or I do believe Diablo was rumored to now come into Game Pass itself. So I think that's kind of sparking the hey, we're finally starting the train of games finally kind of joining Game Pass. If Diablo can go and do it, then Call of Duty should be able to go do it. It's in the same vein, just different genres of games. Although I do kind of feel like a Diablo makes a lot more sense of an earlier Game Pass title a few months after it came out, and then Call of Duty, it's the same boat. Although don't forget, if you do have Call of Duty subscription for 4 to 6 months, they are technically making more money off of you if you are only a Call of Duty player, which we actually saw a lot of statistics that PlayStation had a very large majority of only Call of Duty players, even on their multiplayer platform. But either way, a lot more folks are pushing on this too as well, basically saying that it's going to be reportedly being launched, the Black Ops Gulf War. This is going to be available on Game Pass. And in the recent Xbox podcast, Microsoft Gaming also confirmed that all these first-party titles, once again, like Activision Blizzard titles, will be available as of day one. Now, I do think a lot of people are probably assuming this is meant to happen regardless, and it does kind of make sense too as well. But the big news is that they did confirm that Diablo will be released on Game Pass as of March 28th in the upcoming few weeks. So that kind of seems like a lot of folks are saying, hey, why would Call of Duty not want to show up as well? So it's kind of been a big, people are still waiting for the confirmation to go and see. We'll go from there. But now we've also had some intriguing stuff too as well, and I want to talk about some of this type of stuff, where we saw this over in the Gaming Leaks Reddit, where Nate the Hate actually had a lot of info on Xbox games. And I want to kind of talk about this too, because it kind of relates back on the Xbox side, where we are now seeing a lot of kind of somewhat development, I would say, on a lot of these resting things, where number one, we're waiting to go and see games like Banjo-Kazooie. We're waiting to go and see more information on Call of Duty, if it's going to come to Game Pass day one or not. And it's intriguing to see. So right now, basically, people are saying for Contraband, people are saying that there might be a chance for the topple ban. This kind of comes a lot of stuff from Reset Terror, just kind of re-hiding for it. But basically trying to say hey, when it comes to all these games, like what is going to happen over here. They said the contraband could be potentially coming out as of this year, but they're saying they don't have full-on faith in it, stuff like that. They're still waiting to go and see if there's going to be like Gears or brand new IDs on games. I would love to have a brand new Gears game just to enjoy the multiplayer, flip it up on Game Pass. I would love that. But basically, contraband has a a chance to come out this year. And they also say too is well, the next big game from ID Software next is actually going to be a big game that already has its IP around it in the first place. So they want to go have an established IP, and Xbox is still working on games. And this is actually kind of cool, because like a lot of these people are trying to make money. You want to keep on having more games. You want to maintain the Game Pass. They even go and say too, it's like it says, Phil says 10 to 50% of their content and services revenue comes from subscriptions. If we take that 15% of that 5.41 billion CNS revenue, that means around $800 million revenue for the quarter too as well. And they're averaging that for like the 34 million people paying for that too. On top of that, for the subscriptions, obviously like there might be slightly lower prices for other regions, but that kind of basically means there's like 30 million-ish people or so on Game Pass, and you want to keep on having established good games. You want to be making new games. You want to keep on maintaining the deals with other game companies to get people onto your platform, into Game Pass itself, kind of how they did with like say Pal World. They want to make sure that these games will keep, like gamers will keep on getting games to play. Like that's a big deal. I think it is a big deal. At the end of the day, I think it's good. So it's kind of fun to see all this news. It's kind of fun to see that we're seeing new games, especially since there were brand new IPs being in the works. As well, one bigger one on the Banjo-Kazooie, which I love Banjo-Kazooie project. It's apparently being reworked from its original vision and scope. So basically, like this huge old game, which is a beloved title, I'd say a lot of us always know Banjo-Kazooie or played it back in the day, especially if you're a little bit on the older side, not like 17 or whatever, and that he spoke about it too soon. Also hearing that Fable had a target of 2025 as of last year. So right now we're seeing a lot of these. Or if we kind of go through these proofs too, we're just seeing a lot of fun stuff. Like we're basically seeing a lot of news over here saying where the Haze Banjo-Kazooie is being reworked. It's gonna be a little bit of a bigger game. It's still gonna be taking a little bit too big. They even had a chance to early leak it a little bit too quicker, but it's still kind of fun to see at the end of the day because we get to see new games. We get to see new games being developed and worked on. And I like this shit. I think it's very, very good. And as well, they also had a chance to make responses, kind of just based off a leak and comments on this Reset Terra, saying, do you think any new ID games can already be shown? Like it's far enough into development for that one. Also, new news on State of Decay 3, which I know a lot of folks are hyping up for too as well. But they were saying they're going to probably have a good chance to see some new ID software games. And as well, they don't know much about State of Decay 3. And as well, with the Fable news, a lot of the news is still rumored for 2025, which I think a lot of us are going to be expecting some better games soon. We saw a lot of drama when it came to PlayStation not having like pretty much games throughout 2024. We're seeing some filler stuff, like say you can see Diablo come into Xbox Game Pass. That's filler stuff. It's still good business and marketing, but it's filler. Or PlayStation. We're going to see PlayStation, putting games on PC, like Horizon. That makes sense. It's like filler. It's like still making the money on software, but it's not big. But I want to see some cool stuff on the summer. I want to go and see some proper AAA games, both from PlayStation and Xbox. So right now we do have like Hellblade throughout the year. We have Stellar Blade. We have Final Fantasy Remake coming out soon. We have a lot of like just various games coming out in the general near future, which I'm extremely excited for. But when it comes to everything else, we want something big. I want something hyped up. I want something huge. Like Fable, if I saw a Fable in the summer announcements and a summer conference for Xbox, I'd be freaking out. I'd be excited. I'd be hyped. Because obviously it's Fable. Like that's going to be a big, big game. Indiana Jones will be cool throughout the year. Venom maybe at the end of the year, sure as well too. But right now I just want to have a few more bigger games. But at least we do have a few things kind of being like fleshing out for leaks. Like Banjo-Kazooie, I think is a very beloved series that I think will get a lot of good immediate attention. And I'd probably play it. You put it on Game Pass, I'm down. Call of Duty being on day one Game Pass, I'd probably play it, and I think a lot of folks would also enjoy it too as well. So like let me know in the comment section down below for any of these games if you're intrigued on, want to play, want to enjoy, or even say Call of Duty for day one. But at the end of the day, a lot of these games are like just in the works. Like we don't necessarily know what's going to be happening. We don't know the proper structure for Call of Duty and what Xbox is planning on doing with it. Hopefully going to do more than less, but at the same time, it is kind of cool because the future of Xbox is going to be hopefully a winner for a lot of Game Pass users. Getting a lot of these Activision games day one on Game Pass would be great. I would still love to have like a World of Warcraft, but they're probably trying to figure out what they want to do with that. And at the same exact time, I just want to go have a chance to play games like Call of Duty on Game Pass and not have to worry about spending the $70 and maybe play it for the month or two that I'm excited for it and go from there. But I want to hear your thoughts and comments on all these leaks. Is there anything kind of intrigued on? We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below if you guys want to follow. Probably live up on Twitch right this second. We got the Weeble too as well if you guys want to sign up, get a bunch of stocks. You guys can rock that on out. And I appreciate y'all so much for watching here in the first place. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more brand new videos.